I was doing research on local retirement communities. So we're in Michigan, and I was trying to see how do how do how are retirement communities that are trying to attract customers that are local to Michigan, that don't want to move out of the state and are looking online. So I did a search. I got to an ad. This was the first ad, Vista Grand Villa, and I clicked on it. Took me to this homepage, and I'm going to talk through the experience with you. So you come to the homepage, there's these, this marquee kind of scrolls and shows you a bunch of images. I basically think this website is not well designed, and we're not really talking about the design architecture here. Now below that, there is some copy over here. There's an option to increase or reduce the font size. Again, that's pretty good, because of their target audience. And then there's a learn more about this call to action. And again, there is no context over here, so people will just click. I mean, if you look at the behavior of your shoppers, you will find that there is a link, they're gonna click it. So the idea isn't to just have them click on stuff. Really ask yourself, is that truly what I want them to do? What I mean by that is that if your analytics shows you that people that watch this video have a higher conversion rate than people that click the learn more about us, then why the heck is this link over here? Now you can also watch the video. Below that, we have these 1 to 4 tiles that cover different various topics, and then of course we have the top navigation, we have lifetime value, we have life care, independent living. And the idea from their perspective, which I totally understand because this is the perspective of 99.9% of websites, is that people come to our website for a whole variety of reasons. We don't know specifically what someone's reason is, therefore let's give them all the options so they can navigate themselves. I think that this argument is a really bad argument for a number of reasons. First of all, we do know why people are coming to our website. Especially if you're paying for it, like in this case, they were paying for people who are searching for Michigan retirement community. They absolutely know why I'm coming to the website. So that argument is irrelevant. The second reason why I don't like that argument is that we make this cardinal sin of assuming that more options equals higher conversions. Not true at all. More options means lower conversions. In fact, for every 10 options you add, conversion rates go down by 2%. So the way I look at it is that for every link that's over here, every link is a tax. And the more you tax people, the less they'll convert. So choice is actually the opposite of how we view choice. So we came up with a radical idea. It's a conceptual idea. I grant that most websites have not done this. And I think part of the reason why they haven't done it is because they're scared of trying something new. We're so comfortable copying what's out there. Why does this layout format exist, where we have content in the center, and then the left and right of the website we have just a background? Why do we have rotating images at the top of the homepage? If I were to interview 100 marketers, 95% of them will not be able to give me a convincing response. So we're basically just copying a bunch of bad practices, and as a result, we have websites that look remarkably the same, and we are essentially And so my view is that we have to challenge those sacred cows. So we came up with an idea which, from a design perspective, is terrible. I'm not at all suggesting that this is exactly how it needs to be designed. But what I am saying is that this architecture is something that can radically transform conversion rates. So let me show you what we came up with. We redid their homepage. So now when you come to their homepage, it's much more focused. So we call this tactic focus. We essentially are taking people away from showing them everything to only showing them the content that we want them to pay attention to. So the headline now says Mid-Michigan's retirement leader for the last 46 years. This is not the headline that they have. So we've actually added a headline that matches up with the ad search query. And then it says, and we are using credibility. Since 1972, we have dedicated ourselves to providing 12,301 seniors. This statement over here is shown to build credibility. The best life care Michigan has to offer. We'll be nearing our retirement age soon too, because they've been doing it since 1972. Just adding some humor here. Whether you are looking for independent living, assisted living, or rehab, Vista Grand Villa is everything you'll need to live a happy life. No maintenance is required. blah 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 blah, and then we say our medical director has over 22 years of rehab experience. Now this copy is just not really what's important. Certainly this is a placeholder, they can improve the copy. But the first question we ask ourselves is, who is navigating the web to find a retirement community? They're a parent, or you're looking for yourself. And so we call this a power tactic. This is when we are able to communicate. See, remember, on the website that they have right now, there is no messaging that says, hey, are you shopping for your parents or are you looking for yourself? So there is no power tactic. What we've done is we've incorporated a power tactic. Now, both these links could lead to the exact same page. So it could be a pure placebo effect, but even placebo effects have an impact. The point here is that the user should feel like the website is catering to their need. And the more you can do to communicate that to people, the higher the likelihood that they will actually convert on your website. So let's say that it's someone looking for their parent. They'll click over here, and now we've asked them. Now we've kind of pulled them into our funnel. Now the thing is, of course, if it looks visually like a form, people will kind of hate it. People obviously hate forms, and we don't want them to feel like they can't navigate the website. So we've given them a close button so they can get out of this whole experience. Again, this is known as a power tactic. So what we've done over here is we've kind of shown some sales copy, and then we're asking them for three options. We're saying which of these apply to you. When you're looking for your parent, are you looking for independent living, assisted living, and health and rehab? Now below that, we've explained what each of those options mean. So we call this tactic narrative control. We don't want people to just draw their own conclusions about what we mean by these options. We want them to actually hear what our actual definition is. Now if someone clicks on assisted living, now we are taking you to another page where we are kind of, now from, like I said, from a design perspective, I think we can add a lot more images over here, make it much more visually compelling, which we certainly would, but we've put this together to demonstrate how to kind of take an open-ended website and break it into a sales funnel. And then over here, we're saying you'll be happy to know we're the leader. Again, we're confirming that, and then we're confirming the choices they've made. And then we're asking them a question, does your parent live in the state of Michigan? Because we want to know if they're in the state or outside the state. Again, this is a power tactic. If they click yes, we'll say that's great to hear. And then we are using a tactic called priming. So the thing is that most people that are on websites typically have spent very little time on websites. And we want people to spend more time because we know that, so it's one of those weird things where we actually spend a lot less time on a website than our rational side wants to. So the emotional side is much more antsy, wants to go to another website, doesn't want to read content. But the rational side, there's like a battle going on. The rational side wants to spend time on the website and actually do serious research because this is a pretty important decision for them. So what we're doing is we are activating their rational side. We're doing it by holding up a mirror and saying, hey, who are you? And we know what they're going to say. So it says, are you willing to invest 5 minutes today to learn more about Vista Grand Villa? Now, everybody whose rational side is activated is going to click yes. Why would they spend less than 5 minutes to research this? So when they click here, we will, what we've learned is that we are using this tactic called visualization. We want them to visualize their parents in this retirement community. So we've got some copy over here. It's irrelevant, but we've identified images, and there are like 15-20 images that show residents living a lifestyle in this community. So we've given a little option for them to scroll this. Now below this, we've kind of, we've added some sales copy as well. That's why we have awesome amenities and not blah 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 blah. All of this talk means nothing until you have actually seen the community. So now what we're trying to do is trying to nudge people to actually come in, because we know that someone who says they want to spend 5 minutes researching is someone who's a serious buyer. They've already spent over 7 minutes on the website at this point. We want to now take them to the next level. So we'd love to schedule a visit with you and your parents so we can truly show them. Now remember, we're using copy over here that has been customized to the responses, to the options that the user had already selected on the previous pages. So it's a fully customized shopping experience. Vista Grand blah blah blah, just click on the button below and then you click here, and then we ask you for your, we schedule a visit. This to me is the future of e-commerce. And you might argue that, well, Vista Grand can do it, but because they're different, but I'm an e-commerce website, how do I do it? I totally disagree. The same principles of priming, power, options, conversations can be applied to your website. And sometimes one criticism that I've heard from customers a lot is that they say, Rishi, with making people click all these different buttons, isn't that kind of friction? Aren't you just adding friction? No, there's good friction and then there's bad friction. I'm not suggesting that having 50 clicks is always a good idea. We should experiment. We should see and we should experiment to see what option works better. But this is something that I wanted to quickly share. I hope you guys have a good day and let me know if you have any questions.